When I first heard that Marvel was coming out with another movie called Ant-Man, it didn't really appeal to me at all. I didn't really care. I've never heard of the character. I never read the comics. I don't read comics. I should, but just the thought of somebody called Ant-Man, it's just somebody that's just, you really don't pay any mind. Just feel like they're minor. But honestly, after not only seeing the trailer of how he literally became like, the ants started fighting with them, as well as actually seeing the movie after seeing the trailer, I have to say I was blown away. I really was. The macro photography that they had for Ant-Man was phenomenal. It made every single scene that Ant-Man has ever done, him being Ant-Man, more epic. And even though they kind of shot out for a little bit for comic relief, it made it seem minor from a distance. Like, for a bigger person, you would see it as something minor. For example, the final scene when he was fighting against Yellow Jacket. It looked so epic when they were that size, a small size. But then when in the eyes of the little girl, it just looked like a train going. It was so funny. I loved every bit of it. I really did. But I will say that I didn't even know Evangeline Lilly was actually in this movie until I actually saw her face. And then I was thinking, like, two big elf ears by her. And I'm like, okay, that's her. But Michael Douglas, by far, he's awesome. He will always be awesome in my book. He was wonderful in this movie. I loved I loved him. I loved that character. I loved who he was and everything. And yeah, I'm going to be real. I have not read the Ant-Man comic. I don't know a lot of characters. I don't know their names, except for the ones that stick out with me. So, no, I did not actually go into studying this and all the characters and knowing the names and everything. This is just from my personal perspective of the movie. This isn't a review, because a review is fairly detailed. But this is just from my personal my personal outlook and expectations of this movie. And the expectations were blown out of the water. I came in kind of thinking it would be underwhelming and not really caring about it. For somebody who's knows a little bit about Marvel but haven't read the comics, for somebody going in without reading the comics, you will have fun watching this movie, seriously. But I will say this. When it comes to Marvel, they always fall flat when it comes to the villains. They never really are able to make the villains seem more epic than they are. DC has no problem with that, but Marvel always seems to struggle with having a decent villain to go against the heroes. Their heroes are way too overpowering, while their villains are just minor characters. But I will say that coming close was Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket by far is one of my favorites. Besides Ultron, it has by far to be Yellow Jacket. He's like my second favorite Marvel villain right now. He really is. And yeah, his human side was more like a Lex Luthor. Yeah, he looks just like Lex Luthor before he put on the suit. But besides all that, besides his psychotic human side, when he donned that suit, and I know he was human even wearing the suit, but regardless, even when he put the suit on, he just had a whole different character that I just loved. I really did. And it's a shame that Yellow Jacket, what happened at the end, for those who have already seen the movie, haven't seen the movie, I'm just going to say this. Spoiler alert. Okay, I'm not the type of person that actually does a spoiler-free one, because I'm not good at that. I will literally let something slip out. So I'm just going to say spoiler alert for those who have not seen the movie. I'm even going to talk about the ending credits. So for those who have not seen it yet, yeah, turn away or turn this off right now. All right, for those that are gone, since everybody's gone right now, and for those that want to listen to this, great. But anyway, for what happened with Yellow Jacket, for him pretty much imploding into nothingness, it really does kind of make me sad, because he was a great villain. But I know that, they got to move on from there. But the way that Ant-Man kind of came out of the void was pretty clever. And besides the Ant-Man actual character, all the cast, even the ex-wife and the fiance and the little girl, it felt natural. Even his cohorts even his cohorts kind of seemed like they fit in this whole thing. They weren't just there. Even though they were there for comic relief, kind of, they still had a purpose in this movie. And it didn't seem like they were overdoing it. And I loved it. Everyone's talking about Michael Pena, how Michael Pena stole the scene, stole the show. I'm not going to go there and say that. it was organic. It felt natural. It felt like it was a good fit. Paul Rudd, seriously, he really did pull off the character. I never really thought that Paul Rudd could be an anti-hero, but he really did pull off that character of he did pull off the main character as well as Ant-Man very well. And I enjoyed every bit of this movie. The photography, like I said, was phenomenal. It really sucked you in the movie. It made every small bit epic and every large bit kind of minor, but it was pretty much for comedy. But it was still great. And I loved every bit of it. It was a fun ride. And as for the end credits, yes, of course, Marvel's going to make you, well, they don't really make you, but you kind of make yourself sit through the entire credits just to see one scene that everybody said was great. I'm going to be honest with you. The scene where we found out who the next Wasp was going to be was great. That far surpassed the second one. I'm sorry. Yes, it talks about Civil War. Yes, we had a chance to see Cap as well as seeing Falcon and also the Winter Soldier being handcuffed. But honestly, it was minor compared to the first one. I really didn't care much at all for the second one. And yeah, it's probably leading on up to Civil War. But I really don't care much for Civil War until I see more Marvel movies. But I know Civil War is going to be epic, especially the fact they're going to have Spider-Man in it. But that's the least, that's not what I'm talking about here. But I'm going to say this, guys. For those that have not seen Ant-Man, see Ant-Man. For those that see Ant-Man again. It's a really great movie, a fun ride. I give it a thumbs up. Y'all should definitely check out that movie. Peace out.